Hello everyone, it's Madison here again. Today we're going to be reading chapters 2 to 3 from 13 Reasons Why. If you haven't seen my first video, click on the link down below and it'll bring you right to it. I know I didn't get much views for it, but I did hear from some people that they liked it, so I just wanna keep doing it, because if people like it, I'm gonna keep doing it. Like, even if it's only like a very small amount, then I'm still gonna do it for people. This week has been kind of really stressful for me with midterms, and there's some stuff going on, so I'm not gonna get into it because it'll just be a whole epidemic. But yeah, it's been some stuff, so it hasn't been a very good week for me, so I was going to do it last weekend, but something came up. But if you want to keep listening to the story, like I said before, if you have any depression problems, or if you need to talk to someone, if you feel like nothing's working, if you feel like ending your life is the only option, talk to someone. You can talk to me, you can talk to your friends, you can talk to your parents, talk to a teacher, talk to a counselor. There are a lot of people you can talk to. Even if you just want to let something out, you can talk to your friends, you can text me, you can talk to your mom, you can talk to your dad, talk to your aunt, talk to your uncle, talk to your grandparents, talk to somebody in your family. Alright, I guess we're gonna pick up as soon as I find the page. Okay. Cassette 1, Side B. Play. Welcome back, and thanks for hanging out for part 2. I wiggle the Walkman into my jacket pocket and turn up the volume. If you're listening to this, one of two things has just happened. A, you're Justin, and after hearing your little tale, you want to hear who's next. Or B, you're somebody else and you're waiting to see if it's you. Well, a line of hot sweat rises along my hairline. Alex Standall, it's your turn. A single bead of sweat slides down my temple and I wipe it away. I'm sure you have no idea why you're on here, Alex. You probably think you did a good thing, right? You voted me best ass in freshman class. How could anyone be angry at that? Listen. I stand on the curb with my shoes in the gutter, and at my heel a few blades of grass poked up through the cement. Though the sun has barely started dipping beneath the rooftops and trees, street lamps are lit up on both sides of the road. First, Alex, if you think I'm being silly, if you think I'm some stupid little girl who gets her panties in a bunch over the tiniest things, taking everything way too seriously, no one's making you listen. Sure, I am pestering you with that second set of tapes, but who cares if people around town know what you think of my ass, right? In the houses on this block and in my house several blocks away, families are finishing up their dinners, or they're loading dishwashers, or starting their homework. For those families, tonight everything is normal. I can name a whole list of people who would care. I can name a list of people who would care very much if these tapes got out. So let's begin, shall we? Curling forward, I hug my legs and lay my forehead on my knees. I remember sitting in second period the morning your list came out. Miss Strum obviously had an amazing weekend because she did absolutely no prep work whatsoever. She had us watch one of her famously dull documentaries. What was on? I don't recall. But the narrator did. I have a thick British accent, and I remember picking an old piece of tape stuck on my desk to keep from falling asleep. To me, the narrator's voice was nothing more than background noise. Well, the narrator's voice and the whispers. When I looked up, the whispers stopped. Any eyes looking at me turned away, but I saw the paper getting passed around, a single sheet making its way up and down the aisles. Eventually it made its way to the desk behind me, to Jimmy Long's desk, which groaned as his body weight shifted. Any of you who were in that class that morning tell me Jimmy was taking a sneak peek over the back of my chair, wasn't he? That's all I could picture as he whispered, "You bet it is." I gripped my knees tighter. Jackass Jimmy. Someone whispered, "You idiot, jackass." I turned around, but I was not in the whispering mood. "You bet what is." Jimmy, who will drink up any attention a girl gives him, gave a half smile and glanced at the paper on his desk. Again came the idiot whisper, and this time repeated across the room if no one wanted me and on the joke. When I first saw the list given to me in history class, there were a few names I didn't recognize. A few new students I hadn't met yet or wasn't sure. I had their names right, but Hannah, I knew her name. And I laughed when I saw it. She was building quite a reputation in such a short amount of time. Only now do I realize that her reputation started in Justin Foley's imagination. And I tilted my head so I could read the upside-down title of the paper. Freshman class, who's hot, who's not. Jimmy's desk groaned again as he sat back, and I knew Miss Trum was coming. But I had to find my name. I didn't care why I was on the list. At the time, I don't think I even cared which side of the list I was on. There was just something about hearing everyone agree on something about you that opens a cage of butterflies in your stomach. And as Miss Strum walked up the aisle, ready to grab that list before I found my name, the butterflies were berserk. Where's my name? Where? Got it! Later that day, passing Hannah in the halls, I took a look back as she walked by, and I had to believe she definitely belonged in that category. Miss Strum snatched the list away, and I turned back to the front of the class. After a few minutes gaining the nerve to look, I snuck Pete to the other side of the room. As expected, Jessica Davis looked pissed. Why? Because right next to my name, but in the other column, was hers. Her pencil tapped against her notebook at Morse code speed, and her face was burning red. My only thought? Thank God I don't know Morse code. Truth is, Jessica Davis is so much prettier than I am. Write up a list of every body part, and you'll have a row of check marks the whole way down for each time her body beats mine. I disagree, Hannah. All the way down. Everyone knows worst ass in the freshman class was a lie. You can't even consider it stretching the truth. But I'm sure no one cared why Jessica ended up on the side of your list, Alex. Well, no one except you. And me. And Jessica makes 3. And a lot more than that, I'm guessing, are about to find out. Maybe some people think you were right in choosing me. I don't think so. But let me put it this way. I don't think my ass, as you call it, was the deciding factor. I think the deciding factor was revenge. I tear the blades of grass out of the gutter and stand up to leave. As I start walking, I rub the blades between my fingers till they fall away. But this tape is not about your motivation, Alex. Though that is coming up, the tape is about how people change when they see your name on the stupid list. This tape is about a pause in her speech. I reach into my jacket and turn the volume up. She's uncrinkling a piece of paper, smoothing it out. Okay, I just looked over every name, every story that completes this tapes. And guess what? Every single event documented here may never have happened had you, Alex, not written my name on that list. It's that simple. You need to put a name down opposite Jessica's, and since everyone at school already had a perverted image of me after Justin's little number, I was the perfect choice, wasn't I? And the snowball effect keeps rolling. Thanks, Justin. Alex's list was a joke. A bad one, true. But he had no idea it would affect her like this. This isn't fair. And what about me? What did I do? How will Hannah say that I scarred her? Because I have no idea. And after people hear about it, what are they going to think when they see me? Some of them, at least 2 of them, already know why I'm on here. Do they see me differently now? No, they can't, because my name does not belong with theirs. I should not be on this list. I'm sure of it. I did nothing wrong. So to back up a bit, this tape isn't about why you did what you did, Alex. It's about the repercussions of what you did. More specifically, it's about the repercussions to me. It's about these things you didn't plan. Things you couldn't plan. God, I don't believe it. Pause. The first are Hannah's old house. There it is. But I don't believe it. This house is my destination one other time. After a party, an elderly couple lived there now. After one night, about a month ago, the husband was driving his car a few blocks away, talking to his wife on the phone when he hit another car. I shut my eyes and shake my head to the memory. I don't want to see it, but I can't help it. The man was hysterical, crying. I needed to call her. I needed to call my wife. His phone had disappeared somewhere in the crash. We tried using mine to call her back, but his wife's phone kept ringing. She was confused, too afraid to click over. She wanted to stay on the line her husband had called her on. She had a bad heart, he said. She needed to know he was okay. I called the police using my phone, told the man I would continue trying to reach his wife, but he told me I needed to tell her. She needed to know he was okay. Their house wasn't far. A tiny crowd had gathered, some of them taking care of the person in the other car. He was from our school, a senior, and he was in much worse shape than the old man. I shouted for a few of them to wait with my guy till an ambulance arrived. Then I left, racing toward his house to calm his wife. But I didn't know I was also racing toward a house Hannah once lived in. This house. But this time I walk, like Justin and Zach. I walked out the center of the road toward East Floral Canyon, where two streets meet like an opposite upside-down T, just as Hannah had described. The curtains in the bay window are shut for the night, but the summer before our freshman year, Hannah stood there with Kat. The two of them looked to where I am now. They watched two boys walk up the street. They watched them step off the road and onto the wet grass, slipping and tumbling over each other. I keep walking till I reach the gutter, pressing the toes of my shoes against the curb. I step up onto the grass and just stand there. A simple basic step. I don't slip, and I can't help wondering, had Justin and Zach made it to Hannah's front door? Would she have fallen for Zach instead of Justin? A few months later, would Justin have been wiped out of the picture? Would the rumors never be started? Would Hannah still be alive? Play. The day your list came out wasn't too traumatic. I survived. I knew it was a joke, and the people I saw standing in the halls, handed around whoever had a copy, they knew it was a joke too. One big, fat, happy joke. But what happened when someone said you have the best ass in freshman class? Let me tell you, Alex, because you'll never know. It gives some people, the go-ahead to treat you like you're nothing but that specific body part. Need an example? Fine. B3 on your maps. Blue spot liquor. It's nearby. I have no idea why it's called that, but it's only a block or so away from my first home. I need to walk there anytime I had a sweet tooth, which means, yes, I went there every day. Blue Spot has always looked grimy from the sidewalk, so I've never actually gone inside. 95% of the time, Blue Spot was empty, just me and the man behind the counter. I don't think a lot of people know it's even there because it's tiny and squished between two other stories, both of which have been closed since we moved here. From the sidewalk, Blue Spot looks like a posting board for cigarette and alcohol ads. And inside, well, it looks about the same. I walk along the sidewalk in front of Hannah's old house. A driveway comes up a gentle slope before disappearing beneath the weathered wooden garage door. Hanging over the front of the counter, a wire rack holds all the best candies. Well, they're my favorites anyway. And the moment I open the door, the man at the register rings up, cha-ching, even before I pick up a candy bar, because he knows I've never left without one. Someone once described the man behind the counter as having the face of a walnut, and he does. Probably from smoking so much, but having the name Wally probably doesn't help. Ever since she arrived, Hannah rode a blue bike to school. I can almost picture her now, right there, backpack on, coasting down the driveway. Her front wheel turns and she pedals past me on the sidewalk. I watch her ride down a long stretch of sidewalk, passing trees, parked cars, and houses. I stand and watch her image disappear. Again. Then I turn slowly and walk away. Honestly, in all the times I've been to Blue Spot, I don't think I've ever heard Wally utter a single word. I'm trying to remember a single hello or hey or even a friendly grunt, but the only thing I ever heard him utter was because of Alex. What a pal! Alex, that's right, yesterday someone shoved him in the halls. Someone shoved Alex into me, but who? That day, as usual, a bell jingled over the door as I walked in. Cha-ching, went the register. Picked out a candy bar from the rack on the counter, but I can't tell you which one because I don't remember. I caught Alex to keep him from falling. I asked if he was okay, but he just ignored me, picked up his backpack, and hurried down the hall. Did I do something to piss him off? I wondered. I couldn't think of anything. Sorry, like I said, my throat gets dry. If I wanted to, I could tell you the name of the person who walked in while I searched my backpack for money. I do remember, but he was just one of the many jerks I've run into over the years. I don't know, maybe I should expose all of them, but as far as the story goes, Alex, his action, his horrible, disgusting action, was just an after effect of yours. Plus, he's got a whole tape all to himself. I went, what happened to that store because of Alex's list? No, I don't want to know, and I don't want to see Alex, not tomorrow, not the day after that. I don't want to see him or Justin, or fat-ass jackass Jimmy. God, who else is involved in this? He threw open the door to Blue Spot. Hey, Wally, he said, and he said it with such an arrogance which sounded so natural coming from his mouth. I could tell it wasn't the first time he'd said that in a way, acting like Wally was beneath him. "Oh, Hannah, hey," he said. "I didn't see you there. Did I mention I was standing at the counter?" Visible to anyone at the moment they opened the door. I acknowledged him with a tiny smile, found my money, and dropped it into Wally's wrinkled hand. Wally, as far as I could tell, didn't respond to him in any way. Not an eye catch, or a twitch, or a smile, his usual greeting from me. I followed the sidewalk all the way down to the corner, away from the residential streets, on the way to Blue Spot. It's amazing how a town can change so much in one corner. The houses behind me weren't big or fancy, were very middle class, but they sit back to back like the part of town that's been slowly fading away apart for years. "Hey, Wally, guess what?" His breath came just over my shoulder. My backpack was resting on the counter while I zipped it shut. Wally's eyes were focused down, just behind the edge of the counter near my waist, and I knew it was coming. A cup hand smacked my ass. And then he said it. "Best ass in freshman class, Wally, standing right here in your store." There's more than a few guys I can picture doing that sarcasm. The arrogance. Did it hurt? No. But that doesn't matter, does it? Because the question is, did he have the right to do it? And the answer, I hope, is obvious. I knocked his hand away with a quick backhand swipe that every girl should master. And that's when Wally emerged from his shell. That's when Wally made a sound. His mouth stayed shut, and it was nothing more than a quick click of the tongue. That little noise took me by surprise. Inside, I knew Wally was a ball of rage. And there it is, the neon sign of Blue Spot Liquor. Pause. On the block, only 2 stores remain open, Blue Spot Liquor and Russell's Video across the street. Blue Spot looks as grimy as the last time I walked by it. Even the cigarette and alcohol ads look the same, like wallpaper in the front window. A brass bell jingles when I open the door, the same bell Hannah listened to whenever she came in for a candy fix. Instead of letting it swing shut behind me, I hold the edge of the door and slowly push it shut, watching it ring the bell again. "Can I help you?" Well, without looking, I already knew it's not Wally. But why am I disappointed? I didn't come here to see Wally. He asked again, a little louder. "Can I help you?" I can't bring myself to look toward the front counter. Not yet. I don't want to imagine her standing there. At the back of the store, behind a wall of see-through doors, are the refrigerated drinks, and even though I'm not thirsty, I go there, open the first door, and take an orange soda, the first plastic bottle I touch. Then I walk to the front of the store and pull out my wallet. A wire rack loaded with candy bars hangs from the front counter. Those are the ones that Hannah liked. My left eye begins to twitch. Is that all? I placed the soda on the counter and looked away. Rubbing my eye, the pain goes somewhere above my eye, but it goes deeper, behind my eyebrow. A pinching I've never felt before. "There's more behind you," the clerk says. He must think I'm looking at the candy. I grab a Butterfinger from the rack and place it next to my drink. I put a few dollars on the counter and slide them over to him. Cha-ching! He slides back a couple of coins, and I notice a plastic name tag stuck to the register. "Does it still work here?" I ask. "Wally?" The clerk exhales through his nose. "Day shift. When I left, the brass bell jingles. Play." I saw him back over my shoulder and probably whispered, "Excuse me," but when I moved around him, I purposely avoided his eyes. I had the door in sight, ready to leave, but when he grabbed my wrist and spun me around. He said my name, and when I looked in his eyes, the joking was gone. I yanked my arm, but his grip was tight. Across the street, the neon sign on Russ's Video flickers erratically. I know who's Hannah talking about now. I've seen his wrist-grabbing stunt before. It always makes me want to grab him by the shirt and push him until he lets the girl go. But instead, every time I pretend not to notice. What could I do anyway? Then the jerk let go and put his hand on my shoulder. "I'm only playing, Hannah. Just relax." Okay, let's dissect what just happened. I thought about it the entire way home from Blue Spot, which is probably why I don't remember which candy bar I brought that day. I sit on the curb outside of Blue Spot, setting the orange soda next to me and balancing the Butterfinger on my knee. Not that I have an appetite for anything sweet. So why did I buy it? Was it only because Hannah used to buy candy from the same rack? And why does that matter? I went to the first Red Star and the second. I don't need to go everywhere or do everything she says. First his words, then his actions. Statement number 1. I'm only playing, Hannah. Translation. Your ass is my play toy. You might think you have a final say over what happens to your ass, but you don't. At least not as long as I'm not only playing. I tap one end of the candy bar, making it teeter-totter on my knee. Statement number 2. Just relax. Translation. Come on, Hannah. All I did was touch you with no indication that you wanted me to touch you. If it'll make you feel better, go ahead. You can touch me wherever you'd like. Now let's talk about his actions, shall we? Action number 1. Grabbing my ass. Interpretation. Let me back up and say this guy had never grabbed my ass before. So why now? My pants weren't anything special. They weren't overly tight. Sure, they were slung a little low and probably got a hip shot, but he didn't grab my hips. He grabbed my ass. I'm starting to understand. I'm starting to see what Hannah means, and that opens up a black hole in the pit of my stomach. Best lips? That was another category on the list. Alex, am I saying your list gave him permission to grab my ass? No, I'm saying it gave him an excuse, and an excuse was all this guy needed. It wasn't until the list came out that I ever noticed Angela Romero's lips, but after that I became fascinated by them. When I watched her give speeches during class, I had no idea what words came out of her mouth. I just watched her lips moved up and down, mesmerized when she said things like slippery slope, which behind her lips exposed the inner side of her tongue. Action number 1. Action number 2. He grabbed my wrist, then put his hand on my shoulder. You know, I'm not even going to interpret this. I'm just going to tell you why it pissed me off. I've had my butt grabbed before. No big deal. But this time it was grabbed because someone else wrote my name on a list. And when this guy saw me upset, did he apologize? No. Instead, he got aggressive. Then, in the most condescending way, he told me to relax. Then he put his hand on my shoulder, as if by touching me he'd somehow comfort me. Here's a tip. If you touch a girl, even as a joke, and she pushes you off, leave her alone. Don't touch her anywhere. Just stop. Your touch does nothing but sicken her. The rest of Angela was nowhere near as mesmerizing her lips. Not bad, just not mesmerizing. Then last summer at a friend's house, we played Spin the Bottle after a bunch of us admitted we were Spin the Bottle virgins, and I refused to let the game end till my spin landed on Angela, or till her spin landed on me. When that happened, I pressed my lips agonizingly slowly and precisely against hers. There are some sick and twisted people out there, Alex, and maybe I'm one of them, but the point is, when you hold people up for ridicule, you have to take responsibility when other people act on it. Later on, Angela and I made out on her back porch. I just couldn't get enough of those lips. All because of a list. Actually, that's not right. You didn't hold me up for ridicule, did you? My name was in the hot column. You wrote Jessica's name in the not column. You held Jessica up for ridicule. And that's what our snowball effect picks up speed. Jessica, my dear, you're next. Stop. I pop open the Walkman and pull out the first tape. In the smallest pocket of my backpack, I find the next tape, the one with the blue number 3 written in the corner. I drop that little deck and snap the door shut. And that's the end of cassette side A. Or cassette 1, side B. Sorry. So basically what happened was this guy, Alex, made a list of girls in this freshman class that were hot or not, and then he put the reason why. With the girl he was talking about, I think her name was Angela, I'm pretty sure that's how it was. He said that she had the best lips, and then everybody wanted to kiss her. And that does happen. If people make a list of something, people notice something about that person, and then they become fascinated with it and mesmerized like it's something great when it really isn't that great. And that also is not good because people don't look at the personality of people anymore. They look at the body part. Okay, so let's back up for a minute. I just want to do this real quick about the ass grabbing. For any girls out there or any guys that get grabbed, I do know a few guys that have gotten grabbed places, and that really makes me upset because you don't have the right to grab anyone anywhere. That is not okay. Like, if a guy I knew that was my friend, if he came up and, I don't know, grabbed my butt or my boob, then I would get mad. I would slap his hand away and be like, don't touch me, like that. And you know what? If they tried to touch me again or say it was a joke, that's not okay. You can't just say it's a joke and everything be okay. You can't touch a girl if she doesn't want you to touch her. Leave her alone, like Hannah said. You can't go touching people when they don't want you to. Like, a woman is not an object. We're not just boobs and butt. You can't just care about those things and not care about the person. And the same goes for guys too. A guy's not just a penis and a butt either. I know, like, saying these words is kind of weird for me because I don't usually talk like this, but you can't just go grabbing people's areas because that's not okay unless they tell you it's okay. So like I said, don't go grabbing people that don't want you to grab them. And girls or guys, if you've been sexually harassed and it keeps happening, you can call the cops if it gets really bad and they won't stop when you tell them to stop. You can call the cops. Or have another friend of yours stay with you around them so that way they can't get to touch you. Because that can soon lead to rape. And nobody wants that to happen. Guys, if you're watching this video and you've ever touched a girl and she doesn't want you to, don't do it again. No. I can't tell you exactly what to do, but don't. It's just kind of sickening that guys or girls can go grab someone's body part and not feel bad about doing that. And just because a girl is wearing skimpy clothing, it is not an invite. It is not an invitation to go up and grab her. A girl should be able to wear whatever she wants, just like a guy can. It's not okay for one sex to be okay, and then the other sex has all these rules that you can't do without it being okay to grab you. Okay, so that can cause some girls to go into depression too. I know they probably thought they were complimenting her by telling she had a good ass. But that has nothing to do with it. Like, if it was my boyfriend saying it, then I would just laugh and I would take it as a compliment because it's my boyfriend. But if one of my guy friends or something like says, that would make me uncomfortable. Or even a guy I don't know, that would make me very, very uncomfortable. Because I don't want a guy looking at that because that's not theirs. It's mine. Don't be looking down there. There's nothing for you down there. Same with my boobs. Like, don't look up here, don't look down there, look at my eyes, look at my face, look at my arms. I don't care, just don't. Yeah, but like I said, it's not okay to do that. Don't go grabbing people. It's not worth it. Alright, is there anything else I want to say? Nope, I think I'm good. I will do the 3rd chapter later, sometime this week or maybe next week. I'm not sure because it's my birthday this weekend, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to or not. Thanks for watching if you are watching, and if you want me to continue, please comment or like it down below. Bye!